Guys, what is going on? This your boy Town Biz. All right, so basically, Tank and Jake Paul had the first two face-offs. One will be tomorrow in Miami. So basically, according to Jake Paul's co-founder of MVP, basically they're saying that this fight is going to take place at 193 pounds. Does Tank have to come in at 193 pounds? They're saying they're going to wear 12-ounce gloves, and they're saying it's looking like this is going to be an actual fight that will go against either one of these guys' record. With that being said, at least Canelo and Terrence Crawford was a real fight. At the end of the day, Tank has always been a fuck nigga when it comes to just black boxers. He's hateful. He continues to show his female tendencies, just like he was saying he would knock Bud out in 6 rounds. Bud would demolish Tank in less than 5 rounds. Tank probably would run out of the arena. I mean, if he couldn't do nothing with Lamont Roach, what makes you think he could do anything with Terrence Crawford? But, this is the type of crap that Tank be on, and you just got to keep it 100 with him. He hates to see any boxers besides himself getting attention. He got that from Floyd, because that's how Floyd is. You see Floyd announce some fight with Mike Tyson that may or may not even happen, that they may have difficulty getting sanctioned, and they're having trouble trying to find somebody to basically pay for this fight and broadcast this fight. That's what they don't want you to know behind the scenes. But that's cool, PBC, because I'm gonna keeping it 100 on y'all, and I'm gonna keep telling the truth about y'all. I'm not finna be sitting up here kissing y'all ass to get media credentials. Either gonna give them to me or not, but I'm gonna keep applying for them, and that's just real talk. But I'm not finna change who I am just to get no media credentials, because we know how y'all like to have people's head up y'all asses. But then again, y'all talk all that black shit, and then you have niggas on here trying to talk that pro-black shit when it pertains to Al Heyman. But then Al Heyman has a tendency, and the PBC and people that are affiliated with the PBC, they love to keep black media out unless you sit up there and be kissing up to them. And we know who these dudes are. But it won't happen with me. So like I said with Tank has always been a fuck nigga. Him and his pink coat and his nails, and his purses, his green purses at that don't even match. So, at the end of the day, I'm just keeping it a buck. He just hateful. Like, this is the same Negro that sat up there and put Ryan Garcia through the ringer. Not that I give a damn about Ryan Garcia. Fuck Ryan Garcia and anybody that support him, black or white, especially you Sambos. I'm just keeping it a buck. Like I said, I won't ever in life support Ryan Garcia on no type of level. So, but this is the same dude that said, oh, I think he on PEDs, but then when he tested positive against Devin Haney, he was sitting up there capping for him, and like a lot of these other boxers sitting up here making excuses for Ryan Garcia, sucking up to him, and just got to be said. It is mind-boggling how Jake Paul has infiltrated boxing. Whatever the case may be, he's got into boxing and just got to keep it a buck. Apparently, he's here to stay. He's going to continue to maneuver the way he's maneuvering. At the end of the day, why don't Jake Paul, after whatever happens with him and Tank, why don't he fight somebody like, okay, here's the thing. If he could come in at 193 for Tank, which I don't know what weight class Tank is going to come in under, why don't he fight Arthur Beterbiev or David Benavidez at a catch weight? Why don't he fight David Benavidez at a catch weight of 180? I'm pretty sure. David Benavidez walk around at almost 200 pounds anyway. So why don't he fight David Benavidez? Which, by the way, I'm gonna talk about that Canelo, David Benavidez and Terrence Bud Crawford thing, and talk about the double standards. But as far as Tank go, man, Tank just can't be any more disappointing than what he really is. Man haven't fought a meaningful fight in his whole career at 30 years old. He really ain't fought one meaningful fight. Haven't fought one current pound for pound in his career. But then he always talking about somebody else. Always got. I mean, this just goes to show you. This what blue blood be talking about. This what I be talking about. These dudes can't stick to a code to save their life. Maybe y'all niggas need to watch Dexter. At least Dexter go by a code, and I respect him for that. But you know, with Tank, yeah, Tank is very disappointed, and we know Tank gonna see these videos, or somebody that's part of Tank's camp gonna show this to either Kelly Swanson or that nigga Kenneth or somebody else and say, look what he said about me. I don't want him coming to my fights. I mean, it's good. I ain't worried about it. I mean, the truth gotta be said. You know, I'm not finna be sitting up here pandering. Like, this is some real weak sauce with Tank, and somebody gotta say it. This is trash. It's just trash. It's just trash. So I'm just keeping it a buck. So if this is gonna be an actual fight, here's the thing: if this is gonna be an actual fight, now Turkey doesn't have nothing to do with this. If this is gonna be an actual fight, then why not just get rid of weight classes? Period. You know, they basically saying you could just fight at any case. I guess after. Well, here's the thing: if this the case, then after Jake Paul is done with Tank, why don't he go up to heavyweight and fight Usyk? Or Deontay Wilder, or, you know, Anthony Joshua. He said he was interested in Anthony Joshua, even though I think I think any version of Deontay Wilder, Anthony Joshua, Usyk would waste Jake Paul in less than 4 rounds. But we know Jake Paul ain't gonna take no risks like that. Like, he's very calculated, and you know, on the moves he made. Got to give him credit for that. Hopefully, I'm gonna be honest with you. Hopefully, they schedule a fight the same. Hopefully, they schedule a fight the same day, so I can go cover another fight. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, I'll watch it because I have to because I cover boxing, but I'm not getting up for this. When I say Tank don't have no integrity, he don't have no, I'm serious. Tank don't have no integrity. And all I can say, if this is the last time we gonna see Tank, I'm gonna say this: Tank ain't no Hall of Famer. He's not a Hall of Famer at all. And to be honest with you, Tank was never a pound for pound fighter to begin with. His chance to at least get another discussion was the Lomachenko fight. Lomachenko, he didn't want to fight Tank, even though Tank, or should I say Floyd, made sure Tank avoid Lomachenko for years, until Lomachenko was, you know, a shell of himself. We all know that Tank was going to brutally knock out Lomachenko, and Lomachenko was like, nah, I'm not getting knocked out by nobody like Tank. I'm not getting knocked out by no black fighter. I mean, Tank need to just be quiet, man. At this point, nobody don't respect him, and any Tank fans won't smoke. Bring your ass on here. I got a few minutes to spare. Come on here and try to justify Tank in this fight. Try to justify Tank's legacy and his resume. And then these are the same people that say Bud ain't fought nobody. Are you kidding me? This is why I know that these people ain't real boxing fans. They are fanatics. They're fanboys. I don't even want, man, Tank gonna be looking like a small version of James the Grim Reaper Roper from, you know, the Great White Hype. Tank gonna be looking like a little butterball. If Tank have to come in at 195, like I said, this fight is gonna be a complete joke. That's all Tank care about, TJ. That's all he did. I mean, at least Bud was fighting for legacy. Yes, he's a prize fighter. Yes, you fight for a prize. But Bud was fighting for legacy. Me, myself, I want Bud to, like, retire. Because Bud don't have nothing to prove. At the end of the day, they going to keep pushing the goalpost back. And which, by the way, I don't believe Turki Al-Sheikh is going to pay no $1 billion for no Terrence Crawford to fight David Benavidez. And David Benavidez, at the end of the day, he capping too. You gonna say that Canelo is a shell of himself, but then you was begging for a fight with Canelo. But you saying that ain't the version of Canelo? No, that is the version of Canelo we know, because Canelo just got put in the ring with a skillful fighter. See what it was? He underestimated Bud's strength, and he estimated Bud's skill set. And it's funny when you look at the last couple of fights with Canelo, it was kind of like a telltale sign of what was going to happen to him. Bud was punching in between them wide punches of Canelo. And I'm gonna tell you now, it just goes to show you, Canelo fights somebody with half decent skills. I'm gonna tell you right now, Canelo is gonna get stopped eventually in one of his fights. And this is what I was telling you, why he knew better than to get in the ring with Arthur Beterbiev. There was people that actually believed that he could beat. Like, do anybody at this point believe that Canelo? And then you had these morons, in particular these Mexicans, actually believing that Canelo could beat Andre Ward. If Canelo would have fought Andre Ward, it wouldn't have been that he almost quit like he did against Bud, because he almost quit in the 11th round. And I was the one that put that out there. Now everybody is piggybacking off of me. But I'm going to tell you right now, he would have quit against Andre Ward. When I say Andre Ward would have roughed him up, he would have quit against Andre Ward. And Arthur Beterbiev would have put Canelo on the stretcher. He would have laid Canelo out. Let me tell you something. I got very credible sources that Canelo was very upset on that plane ride back home. Canelo is doubting himself. Canelo is humiliated. And then, like I said before, he knew he lost the fight. And like I said, I still can't get over that moron Elie Seckbach basically trying to manipulate his pathetic fans, or so-called fans, or people with common sense that understand how boxing works. That even Canelo checked him and said, man, I didn't win that fight. Talking about I may be in the minority. You are a minority of being a majority idiot. You're a fucking moron, Elie, and I'll tell you to your fucking face. I heard that too. I heard that Canelo was so upset that he was in tears on that because he got humiliated. Basically, his plan backfired to fight a dude that he knew was that he thought was smaller than him. And basically he got the clenbuterol beat out of him. He got the clenbuterol beat out of him, and he just can't handle it. And that's what it come down to. So, I heard that too. I heard from a credible source. They said he was in tears on that plane. Well, like I said, a rematch would be even worse. When I say a rematch would be well, this is what I be saying about Bud that I've been trying to say. See, people have put this stigma on Bud that Bud is funny style towards black media, but that's not true. I didn't talk to Bud a few times off camera. Bud just has certain people he talked to, and then the way Bud was treated in between Errol Spence, all the way from 2018 to the actual fight happened. So he kind of have an issue. That's why he was telling Shannon Sharp, he was like, damn, why is my own people like tearing me down? And Bud took that personal. So, so Bud is very, particular of who he talked to. And then Elie Seckbach used to always be lightweight hating on him. So basically, Bud wouldn't talk to him. Just like Elie got a thing against Devin Haney. And what I don't respect about Elie Seckbach ain't never called Ryan Garcia or Teofimo Lopez out on their racism towards black people. And then he's sitting up there talking about, look how many people came to see Teofimo at the boxing expo. Yeah, because it was free. I didn't cover multiple Teofimo Lopez fights for Top Rank, and the man can't sell. I'm talking about I'm talking about the man can't sell. Man, when I say that Teofimo Lopez, he can't sell ice water to people in hell. That's just real talk. The man can't sell. They put him at Madison Square Garden. He sold like 6,000, 7,000 tickets. They put him at, he can't even sell 10,000 tickets. They put him at the smaller arena during Super Bowl weekend last year at the Michelob Ultra Arena. He sold like 6,900 tickets. He can't sell. Then he had a fight like in Miami at like some small ass theater that didn't even have like 5,000 people there. He can't sell tickets. That's all it come down to. Bud was about to KO Canelo in the 9th round. That's why Canelo had to stop that momentum, and that's why he came with his quote-unquote accidental headbutt. I mean, you know, he was about to get stopped. So, you know, it's when I say it's been so quiet in the Bay Area, it's been quiet. Ain't nobody. It's been so quiet. I'm talking about they've been incognito. But yeah, that's how the beef with Ellie Setback started. So, like once again, ain't no Tank fan in sight. This is what they gonna do. They gonna wait till I end the stream, and then they gonna come on here talking shit like they always do. I'm waiting for these cowards to show up. I'll give them like a few more minutes. Come on, Tank fans, come justify this BS fight. Come justify this shit show. Canelo is not gonna fight Terrence Crawford again. It's already a wrap for him. Why would you sit up there and fight him again? And Robert Garcia is delusional, talking about Canelo would win a rematch. No, he wouldn't. That fight ain't going. Let me tell you something. The rematch ain't going 6 rounds. A rematch ain't going 6 rounds. And then when Tank was sitting up saying he had knocked Bud out, like, bro, shut your ass up, man. For real. Shut up, dude. I mean, you see how Jake Paul disrespected him. Jake Paul told him that he can't read. He told the man he can't read. He told Tank he can't read. You know, he told him he couldn't read, man. So that should just tell you all you need to know. And we knew Jake Paul was gonna go that route. We knew he was gonna go that route. But I told you they wouldn't let me in. They wouldn't let me in to the press conference. And usually I get credential for all press conference. I didn't got credential for Jake Paul fights at the last minute, but I guess Tank's team told him not to let my people in and stuff, because I guess they were scared I was going to humiliate Tank, which I was going to ask him something that was going to, like, since he's so street, I was going to test his knowledge of the streets. I was going to test his knowledge of the streets since Tank is from the mean streets of Baltimore. That's the thing though. They want to make sure that they don't have a Sean Vattel moment like what Sean did to Dana White. Shout out to Sean, man. Shout out to Sean. Me and Sean is cool though. Well, that's the PBC, the so-called black ran promotional company. You know, they don't let certain black media in. Like I said, I got juice with everybody. I got juice with Matchroom. I get pretty much into any Matchroom event I want to. I got juice with Golden Boy. I got juice with Top Rank. So I'm just trying to say, but the PBC don't want to let me in. So I mean, it is what it is, though. No, but I give him credit for what he finally told the truth about. Nah, Sean is okay. I'm glad he finally told the truth about black fighters. Because, see, here's the thing. Here's the thing. After, I'm going to tell y'all the truth. See, this is what people scared to say. This is where all this come from. This is the realest talk that y'all ever gonna hear. This whole black fighter running stuff is pure cap. What happened was they needed to find a way to make these non-blacks, the Eastern Europeans and, the Hispanics, even though the Hispanics had a place, but then they were in the distant second to black fighters, So then you seen, that's why they blew up Manny Pacquiao, even though Manny Pacquiao was not overrated, but that's what they started to do. So within the last 25 years, you started to see the emergence of, Manny Pacquiao and all these non-black fighters. So what they tried to do is to try to diminish the skill set and the legacy of the new age black fighters. They started talking this running stuff because they needed a way to make these, they needed a way to boost up and basically, promote these non-black fighters like the Triple G's of the world. And shout out to Goodfellas Sports TV. Triple G is one of the most overrated boxers in the last 20 years. Triple G wasn't shit. And I'll tell Triple G and Tom Lofton, Triple G was one of the most fraudulent fighters that ever came about. And they tried to have the audacity to try to have him ranked higher than Hagler. Like, dude, stop it. Hagler would have beat the brakes. Let me tell you something. James Toney, Bernard Hopkins, Roy Jones Jr., Thomas Hearns, Sugar Ray Leonard, they all would have beat the living shit out of Triple G at middleweight. All of them. And probably they all would have been stoppages. Yeah, I said it. See, this is what people scared to say. So that's why they started talking this running stuff. That's why they started bringing these analysts in, like the Max Kellermans, to try to diminish the skill set of these black fighters. Because we were so far in between. We were so relevant. We were on top. Everybody was a distant second to us. So what they started to do, that's what they started to say by trying to say, oh, these dudes are running and all this stuff. That's how, let me tell you something. Had Canelo fought 30 years ago, he wouldn't even be relevant. Nobody wouldn't even be thinking about him. First of all, Salvador Sanchez and Ricardo Lopez are both better than Canelo. Just got to be said. Both Ricardo Lopez, Salvador Sanchez, Juan Manuel Marquez, even overrated as Julio Cesar Chavez, whose first 80 fights was against people that worked at hot dog stands, is better than Canelo. Somebody got to say it. Yeah, I'm gonna get called a hater tonight, but let's do it. Let's bring it. Okay, so it's been 5 minutes. Where the Tank fans at? Where the Canelo fans at? Who want to test my knowledge? So that's why they started doing this stuff. For real. That's why they started like bringing in the Sergio Moras, and Sergio Mora is one of the worst commentators ever. Max Kellerman used to be decent, but then he started falling into prey, basically being a company man. Talking about if Terrence Crawford would have lost to Canelo, his career would have been diminished. Man, if you don't get your goofy ass out of here, you failed rapper. Like, man, stop it. Somebody got, like I said, How could you sit up there and say one fight would have defined somebody's career? See, that's what I'm saying. Now, when Mikey Garcia got his ass handed to him by Errol Spence, what did they say? Oh, Mikey Garcia dared to be great. But then you trying to say that Bud's career would have been defined by fighting and possibly losing to Canelo. See how they changed the narrative? See how they switch up? See how they switch up? With us, one fight defines us. One fight makes us overrated. But like I said, Triple G got away with fighting cab driver after cab driver. Triple G got one of the worst resumes in boxing ever. Triple G was one of the most fraudulent pound for pounds that they had at the time. I never seen a dude get so much praise for fighting hot dog stand worker, Foot Locker worker, you know what I'm saying, dudes that work at Chevron. Told you, man. Where they at? I told you they ain't nowhere to be found. Ain't nowhere to be found. So the Tank fans ain't nowhere to be found, and neither is the Canelo fans. But then again, they're somewhere in hiding, you know. They breaking TVs and stuff. You know, they breaking TVs, having meltdowns. But anyway, just wanted to prove my point. Your boy will be back.